So you've just arrived at camp or a caravan park. Now it's time to set up your caravan. I thought I'd just do a quick run through on the few steps that you do to make sure you're going to have your van set up right, stable, secure for the perfect night's sleep. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you pick the right site, a good flat site, and or your actual allocated site if you're in a caravan park. You don't want to be that guy. Right, so now what you want to do is go and just check your levels. Even though it may look level, you might need to level out your van. If you don't have airbags, well, you're going to need leveling ramps. So let's go around and just check the levels of the van and see what tweaks we may need to do. So a couple of T-levels. What I like to do is with the T-levels is I put it onto the chassis at the front. That's going to help me see where I am, what the van's doing, and how I need to level it. If you're not too bad, you can definitely level the van using your stabilizer legs. Or if it's way too far, use some leveling ramps to get it absolutely perfect. Next T-level, I put on the doorstep. So with the two levels set, I just like to use these two as my bases to check what the van is doing and know where I need to level, how I need to stabilize before I unhitch the van from the tow vehicle. So what you can see with the level bubble is off to the side. So I just tilt it just to confirm which side I obviously need to level. And I can see I just need a tiny amount of level over here on the driver's side of the van. Leveling ramps. So now on a single axle caravan, you are only going to need the one leveling ramp. On a tandem axle, well, you're going to need two because you've got two wheels. For this van here, it's only a single axle. The principles when you're leveling a tandem axle versus single axles are the same. You basically want to level the side that is lower down. With a single axle, you just need the one ramp. With a tandem, well, you're going to have to put it between the two wheels and level both at the same time. That's where these come in handy because of the compact design. Wheel chock comes off the back. That'll fit between most tandem axle caravans. So I'm going to knock off the plates because I'm going to need them later on. Let's head around to the side that I need to level and put this in place, call in a mate, and let's get it up on the ramp. For me, you can either drive forward or drive back when it comes time to level. So I'm going to set this up to drive forward. Now this is where you need a really good friend, wife, husband, partner, person, random, stranger, someone from the park. I'll go for random. Hey Barney, can you give me a hand? I just need you to drive forward. I'm going to go all the way to the top. And then we're going to set the right position. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Stop! Can you just go back a bit? Have a look at that. We're pretty well spot on. We're probably going a little bit too far on this side, which is fine. We're going to set that chock in and then we're just going to roll back down onto that chock. Just time to knock the chock off the back. Nice and easy to do. And then we're going to set it in. The good thing about the design of this chock is it doesn't actually have to engage with the ramp. It can actually sit lower down like it is doing there. And that's going to be enough to hold it in combination with your handbrake and also chocks on the other side. So let's chock the other side of this van. Now for the rear, I haven't hit it all the way in because I know I've gone that little bit too far. So I actually want the van to settle down a little bit into the chock on both sides. So that way I'm going to be almost 100% perfect. It's just allowing that little bit of extra roll so that way I can get this side down a little bit more on the ramp to make sure I don't have to do as much with the stabilizing legs when it comes time to level this. So Barney, I don't need you to reverse. If you can just start it up and just let the car into neutral.
Yep.
Take the handbrake off.
Yep.
And just ease it a little bit. Perfect. There you go, see the chock's taking it up. So handbrake's back on, into park. Thanks mate. Yep. What a helper. It's now time to level it front and back. And we do that with the jockey wheel. To do that, we've got to take it off the vehicle. So, jockey wheel. With the van secure and level, it's now time to stabilize. That's where we need those 4 anti-sink plates for the 4 stabilizer legs. Again, this is a slightly softer ground. So what we want to make sure is we're putting as much of a footprint as possible, just so that way that these legs aren't going to sink in. We're going to be here for a few days, so putting those stabilizing plates underneath the stabilizing legs, it's going to make sure that the van's not going to rock and sink in, and it's going to be stable for the whole duration of our camp. So here we have our stabilizing leg. As you can see, the footprint's quite big, and then there's other types around that are just a little barb, and that's where these really do come into their own. The ones that are slightly rolled, they dig in super quick. This is a lot more stable, but it's still going to do well by benefiting by putting one of these underneath it. The other added benefit is you can actually run water or ant sand around this to create a bit of an ant barrier as well. Now manufacturers recommend that you put this forward on the front and you angle it towards the back on the rear. So let's do exactly as they say and set this up. Well, with the van stable, that ain't going anywhere. It's time to set up the shade. So there's been a lot of storms passing through Beaudesert at the moment, so I'm going to make sure I anchor this awning as good as possible. So I'm using the Easy Anchor Caravan Starter Pack. It's got all my easy anchors, it's got my awning attachment point, this little guy here. So before I put this up too high, I'm going to attach that so it's ready to go when it comes time to put the guide ropes in. So the Easy Anchor Caravan guide rope works really well with it braced still to the van in position. But if you wanted to have that walkway clear and you didn't want this running this way, you can actually still bring that leg out and put it into the ground. You just need to put it angled forward on a 10-degree pitch. So the rope gripper is super easy to use, great to get tension. Pull up, let it go, to remove, grab the rope, unhitch it, you're done. Couldn't get any easier. So van level, stable, secure, plenty of shade. Now all that's left to do is sit by the campfire and enjoy, and or if you had a full drive park like this, head out on the tracks.